Hey, Coach Paul here, and in this video I'm going to show you a few different tactics you can use to increase the intensity or how hard an exercise is when you don't have heavier weights to go up with, all right? So I'll show you a few different tactics and then I'll show them in a few different exercises, all right? So first one, let's say I'm doing a squat, all right? And I don't have any heavier weights to use. First thing we can do when you're lifting lighter weights is focus on the range of motion, all right? So if I do, my squats only to here, if I can get, 10 of those, it's still not gonna be as effective if I can get one all the way down, full range of motion. So start there, make sure you're nailing the range of motion, get a full range of motion, all right? The next easiest thing we can do is just slow the movement down, all right? So we can go nice and slow, especially on the way down, all right? So just slowing the movements down is another way to add intensity, all right? After that, the next one, I'm gonna show you three here. First one is a pause rep, all right? So we get to the bottom of the movement and we're just gonna pause. This could be maybe a 3 count. And then we're gonna come up, all right? So again, down, pause, count it, come up. That's gonna make it more challenging. Next thing we can do, call a half rep. So we're gonna go all the way down, halfway up, back down, and then up. We'd call that 1 rep, all right? Again, it's all the way down, halfway up. Don't worry if you're getting to the exact halfway point. Just make sure it's somewhere in the middle, all right? Last one I'm gonna show you is a pulsing rep. So we're gonna go all the way down, we're gonna pulse, and then come up. Just a tiny bit up, tiny little pulse. And this is good because you can add as many pulses as you want if you need to make it more challenging. So I'll show you 3 pulses, 3 or 4, all right? So that's something that you can use as well. I'm gonna change up the exercise now. I'm gonna show you it in a row. The slow reps and the full range of motion, that stuff's pretty easy to remember, just slowing it down. So I'll show you the pause rep first, all right? We're just doing a 1-arm dumbbell row. So the pause rep, we'd come up, hold it, really squeeze the muscle. Let's give it a 1, 2, 3, and then bring it back down nice and slow. Again, I'll show it one more time. Up, pause, 1, 2, 3, bring it back down. The half rep would look like this. We'd call that 1. All right, and then a pulse is very similar, but it's just gonna be a tiny bit of movement. So it's up, that's 1 pulse. This would be like 3. Really focus on the muscle that's being worked, all right? Let's do one more exercise. I'm gonna show you a chest press, all right? So, we're down here, floor press. So for the pause rep, this one will be a little different. We're gonna drop all the way down, but obviously if we pause at the bottom, elbows on the floor, that's not gonna be very difficult. So instead, we're gonna pause right at the lowest point. We're about touching the hardest point, and then go back up. All right, so it's down right at the hardest point, hold it, maybe 1, 2, 3, and then back up. The half rep is gonna look like this. Tap the elbows, halfway up. Again, just finish somewhere in the middle. Don't worry if it's perfectly halfway every time. Half rep here. All right. And then the pulsing rep. Again, down, up a tiny bit. That's 3 pulses. That one, again, you'd probably want to stop with your elbows just off the ground. That's 4 pulses right there. All right. So those are just some tactics that you can use. Again, always focus on range of motion first. Make sure you have a full range of motion. If you're using lighter weights, it's actually a good time to really focus on that and build that range of motion. A couple of other things you can do is add more reps in, do a few more reps. Once you get to like the 20 rep range, I wouldn't go on any farther than that. It's just gonna be a ridiculously long workout if you're doing 25, 30 reps and not as effective. You can also limit the amount of rest between sets, and that's going to make it more challenging on your bodies and your muscles in general. All right, so use those tips. Hope they help.